ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम्
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां
अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे
परम्पराम्
परम्परा
ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु
सहनो भुनक्तु सहनौ
वावहै
करवावहै
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा
विद्विषावहै
विद्विषावहै
ॐ शान्ति
ॐ
शान्ति
शान्ति शान्ति
शान्तिः
शान्तिः
Om Tat Sat.
हरि ओम् ॐ तत्सत् So we are now in the 8th chapter, first section, first mantra. We will chant. Atha yadidam asmin brahmapure
अथ यदिदम्
यदिदमस्मिन् ब्रह्मपुरे
daharam pundarikam veshma
दहरं
Daharam
पुण्डरीकं
Veshma.
daharaha asmin antarakashaha
दहरः
दहरः
Daharasmin
अस्मिन्
Antarakasha.
अन्तराकाशः
jalantattad anveshtyam
Tasmin
तस्मिन्यन्तस्तद्वेष्ट्यम्
tadvapa vijñāsitavyam iti
Tadvavidyamiti.
tadvava vijñāsitavyam iti.
Tadvavidyamiti.
Okay, so as you can see here, we don't have the names of the Guru and Shishya. And he says, the Guru says, Atha yadidam asmin brahmapure. Okay, so in this physical body, because in this physical body is where Brahman is dwelling. And the idea is important because the body cannot be ignored, even though it is mithya, because it is the dwelling place for Ishvara. And in this Brahmapura is the place where Brahman is, the dwelling place for Brahman, which is a physical body. So Brahmapura has to be equated to this body. Then Daharam Pundarikam Veshma. So Veshma is the residence. Pundarikam is a lotus. Lotus is upside down lotus in this case, like a lotus bud which is upside down. And Daharam means very small. Right? So Daharam, Pundarikam, Veshma, this is the residence. In that Daharaha, in that heart of the body, Daharaha Asmin Antarakashaha. That is Daharaha Akasha, small space. Okay, so he is showing in the body there is the heart. In the Brahmapura, there is the heart. And in this heart, there is a Daharam Akasha, literally small space. Because the heart is small, and when you hold they say the heart is the size of a fist, right? So when you hold the fist tight, the thumb goes in. Can everybody please put off their mics, please? Okay. So in that space in the heart, that is where Brahman resides. So Tasmin Yadantaha. In that Tasmin, in that Dahara Akashaha. Tasmin means in that. In what? In that Dahara Akashaha. Yadantaha. Yad Antaha. Whatever is there, whatever is located, what should you do? Tad Anveshtavyam. Anveshtavyam is a mandate. You should therefore inquire into that. And after inquiry, after finding out what it is, tadvava, then indeed, vijignya sitavyam iti. Sitavyam is a mandate again. You should also meditate upon it. So, what is to be done? You have to visualize that small space, Dhara Akasha. So remember this is a very famous section called Dhara Vidya. So Dhara is the small, Dhara is the Akasha. Dhara Akasha means small space. You have to visualize that small space as Brahman. And in that Brahman, you have to visualize the entire universe. And this is what that Puranic story of Yashodhara seeing the entire universe in Krishna's mouth. This is what it represents. The universe is there in Dara Akasha. Okay. Why are we talking about this? This is actually Upasana, right? And we are all, you know, at least we think we are advanced students. Therefore, is Upasana necessary for you? No. If you know firmly that you are Brahman, you don't need to go through the process of the visualization that you are Brahman. So visualization, upasana is always for manda adhikari and madhyama adhikari. Right? In fact, in the Brahma Sutra also, there is a section which is called Dahara Adhikarana. Where a discussion takes place and it is established that the word Akasha means Brahman only. So in that small space, there is Brahman. Therefore, Akasha can be called Brahman. And why is space referred to as Brahman? Because there are very many similarities, formlessness, all pervading, all these things. So this is the instruction. Then the second mantra we will chant 812. Tam ched bruyuhu
तं चेद्ब्रूयुः
तं चेद् ब्रूयुः
yadidam asmin brahma pure daharam pundarikam veshma.
यदिदम्
यदिदम्
यदिदमस्मिन्
अस्मिन्
ब्रह्मपुरे
ब्रह्मपुरे
दहरं
दहरं
पुण्डरीकं
पुण्डरीका
विष्म
Daharo asmin antarakashah
दहरोऽस्मिन्नन्तराकाशः
दहरोऽस्मिन्नन्तराकाशः
kim tadatra vidyate
किं
किं
तदत्र
तदत्र
विद्यते
विद्यते
yadanveshtavyam yadvava
यदन्वेष्टव्यं
यदन्वेष्टव्यं
यद्भाव
यद्भाव
vijignasitavyam iti
विजिज्ञासितव्यमिति
जिज्ञासितव्यमिति
sabruyat.
स ब्रूयात्
ब्रूयात्
So this is a peculiar construction of the sentence. So it is saying that it's not giving the question from the Shishya directly, but it is a sort of a indirect method of saying. He says, if the Shishya asks this question, then the Guru should answer it in this manner. That is the meaning of this mantra. So tam chet bruyuhu. If that Shishya asks the question, what question? Remember, Shishya has just been told that this Dhara Akashaha. And therefore, the equation that Akashaha is to be equal to Brahman is not clear to him. Therefore, if he takes Akashaha as the space within the heart, what is the question? Yadidam asmin Brahmapure daharam pundarikam. In this body, there is a pundarikam. The pundarikam here is literal meaning is lotus, but it means the heart, right? So pundarikam, daharam pundarikam, small heart. Veshma, which is the residence of what? Again it says, Daharaha asmin antarakashaha. So in this body, Brahmapura is the body, Daharam Pundarikam, there is a small heart, Veshma, which is the residence of Brahman. You have to supply that. And then, where exactly in this heart is this Brahman? Daharaha asmin antarakashaha. In that heart, there is a small space. And kim tadatra vidyate? What can be there in that small space? Yad anveshtavyam, which I have to see. Okay, so this is all the question. You have said, oh Guruji, that there is a body, Brahmapure, in which there is a pundarikam, there is a heart. In the heart, there is a Dahara Akashaha, Veshma, which is the residence. Now, in that heart, there is a Akashaha. The student is asking, Kim Tadatra Vidyate, what is there in that Akashaha, Yad Anveshtavyam, which I have to look into. So look at Veshma is the residence. The residents of what? The Guruji has not said. And therefore, the student's question is, if there is a in the heart, if there is a Akasha, in the Akasha there is somebody. What is that somebody which I have to seek? And yadvav vijignyasitavyam. What indeed is there for me to meditate upon? This is the question. And saha bruyat. As I said, the whole sentence is in a very funny manner. It says, if the student should ask this question, then saha bruyat, then that guru should give the following answer. The answer given in the next mantra. So instead of directly the question being asked and the guru answering, this is the Upanishad saying that if a student should ask this kind of a question, then the guru should give this kind of an answer. What kind of an answer? We will read. Mantra number 3. Yavan va ayamakashaha
यावान्
यावान् वा अयमाकाशः
अयमाकाशः
tavan esha antarhridaya
तावान्
तावानेकः अन्तर्दयः
हृदय
akashaha ubhe asmin द्यावा पृथिवी
आकाश
आकाश
आकाशोभे
उभे
अस्मिन्
अस्मिन् द्यावा
द्यावा पृथिवी
अंतर अंतरेव समाहिते
अन्तरे
अन्तरेव
अन्तरेव
समाहिते
समाहिते
उभाव अग्निश्च वायुश्च
उभाभग्निश्च
निश्च
वायुश्च
वायुश्च
सूर्यचन्द्रमसा उभौ
सूर्याचन्द्रमसौ
सूर्याचन्द्रमसावुभौ
विद्युन्नक्षत्राणि
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 यच्चास्येहास्ति
यच्चास्ति
यच्चास्येहास्ति
यच्च नास्ति
यच्च नास्ति
सर्वं तदस्मिन् समाहितमिति
सर्वं
सर्वं
तदस्मिन्
तदस्मिन्
समाहितमिति
समाहितमिति
So the Acharya is saying that this Dara Akasha, which you are taking to mean a small space, is not really a small space. It is as all pervading as the external space. Why? Because Dhara Akasha is Ishvara. When you say Dhara Akasha, you are talking about Ishvara. And just as that all pervading space is unlimited, Ishvara is also unlimited. So the Ishvara in the heart, the idea is the Ishvara who sits in your heart is not limited by the physical boundaries of your heart. He is all pervading. You have to understand it as that Ishvara who is all pervading is also available in my heart. When you say Ishvara is in the heart, remember it is always Ishvara is also in the heart. You should not take it to mean that the boundaries of the heart limit that Ishvara. So he says, Yavan va ayam akasha. Whatever is the extent, yavan va, whatever is the extent. Extent means the all pervasiveness. Whatever is the all pervasiveness of akasha, that is the akasha element. The Panchabhuta Akasha, in the same manner that the Panchabhuta Akasha is all pervading, Tavaneva, in the same manner, Esha Antarhridaya Akasha. That much pervasiveness is also there for the Antarhridaya Akasha, for the Akasha in the heart. Okay. So two Akashas. Ayam Akasha is the Panchabhuta Akasha, the physical space. Antarhridaya Akasha is consciousness, Chaitanyam in the heart. So the first Akasha is Panchabhuta Akasha. Second Akasha is Chaitanyam. So he is saying that as much as is the pervasion of the external space, that much is the pervasion of Chaitanyam also. And here you have to understand very carefully because we know that consciousness is all pervading before Akasha was. So if at all you can say something is more pervading than space, then that is Akasha. Because that Panchabhuta Akasha is born in Chaitanya, in consciousness. And then he says, Ubhe asmin Dhyava Prithvi Antareva Samahite. Both, Ubhe, both Dhyava, Dhau and Prithvi. That is the earth and the sky are situated in this Ishvara Akasha, in this Chaitanya Akasha. Right? Then Ubhavagnischa Vayuscha Surya Chandramasa Ubhav Vidyut Nakshatrani. What all are there? Vayu is there, Agni is there, Surya is there, Chandra is there, Vidyut is there, and Nakshatrani is there. So Vidyut is what? Lightning. Nakshatrani is stars. So he's saying, remember that everything, including Agni, Vayu, the sun, the moon, the lightning, and the stars, they are all situated where? In this Chaitanya. So this Chaitanyam is not Bhuta Akasha. This Akasha is not Bhuta Akasha, but this Akasha is Saguna Brahman. Why do we say Saguna Brahman? Because all these are Panchabhutanis. And whenever you talk about the material cause, there is always Saguna Brahman. So remember that this Saguna Brahman cannot be taken to be in the Dahara Akasha. Because Dahara Akasha is the space available in the heart, limited, so you cannot take it as in the Ishvara is in the Dahara Akasha. You have to say Ishvara is available in the Dahara Akasha for Upasana. For worship purposes, for the purpose of worship, that all pervading Ishvara is available in the space in your heart and is worshipped there. Right? Then there's the word yachas yehasti. So you can break it up. Yat, yacha, asya, iha, asti. Yat, cha, asya, iha, asti. Whatever is there, iha. Iha means here in this loka. Whatever is there in this loka, yacha nasti. And whatever is not there also. Right? So this two words, yacha se asti, yacha asya iha asti, and yacha nasti, when you combine whatever is here and whatever is not here, how will you interpret that? Yacha asya iha asti, whatever is there in this loka, and yacha nasti, whatever is not there in this loka.
Both manifested and unmanifested?
And manifested, if you say, it is still here, right?
Yes, but the unmanifested also.
I think a better interpretation is that whatever is here today is whatever is here. And whatever is not here today can mean whatever is in the past or whatever will come in the future. So this is going to cover all the three time frames. What was there, what is there, and what will come there also. What are they? What is the point being made? Sarvam tadasmin samahitam iti. All the past, all the objects in the past, the objects in the present, and the objects in the future, they are all also located in this Saguna Ishvara. Okay. Then we go to mantra number 4. Tam chedruyuhu
Bruyuhu
asmin ched idam brahmapure
Asmi
Asmin Chedidam Brahmapure
sarvam samahitam sarvani cha bhutani
Sarvam
सर्वं
Samahitam
सर्वाणि च
Sarvani cha
भूतानि
Bhutani
sarve cha kamaha
सर्वे
Sarve cha
कामाः
Kamaha
yadaitajjara
यदैतजरा
Daitachara
वाप्नोति प्रथम सत्ते
वाप्नोति
Apnoti
प्रथमं सते
Pradhvam Sate
वाकिम
वाक्यं
वाक्यम्
ततो अतिशिष्यत इति.
ततो
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 अतिशिष्यत
अतिशिष्यत
इति
इति.
Okay. So the student wants to apply a particular logic. Supposing there is some water in a pot, right? So he is going to say that when you say that there is water in the pot, then we say the pot is the supporter and the water is the supported, right? The pot is the adharam, supporter, and the water is the adheya, supported. When the pot, the adharam is broken, then you will find that the adheya is no longer available. The water also gets lost, gets spilled and is no longer available. So he wants to apply that logic over here. And again, it is worded in the same way. Tam ched bruyuhu. If the student says in the following manner, what does he say? Asmin ched idadam brahmapure sarvam samahitam sarvani cha bhutani sarve cha kamaha. Asmin idadam brahmapure. Chet asmin idadam brahmapure. If in this body called Brahmapura, sarvam sarvani cha bhutani, all beings and objects when you say they are Vishayas, objects of desire, are located. Right? So Brahmapura is what? Actually, it is Ishvara. So previously we see the progression. Previously you said the body is Brahmapura. Now you are saying the body itself is Ishvara. That Saganu Ishvara is Brahmapura, but is saying. First it was the abode, then now we are saying that the whole universe itself is Saguna Ishvara. So you have to take it as Saguna Brahman is the abode for the entire creation. Because here again, Brahmapura is being talked about, but it is Samashti level because he is saying all beings and objects of desire. Sarvam Samahitam Sarvani cha Bhutani Sarve cha Kama. Right? Everything that is there is this Brahmapura. Earlier it was the Upasaka's Brahmapuram, where he was looking at the body and then in the heart and space in the heart and then Ishvara. That is Vyashti level. But Samashti level, when you look at the space, that entire space is what? Occupied by what? By Saguna Ishvara, by the universe itself. And therefore, Saguna Brahman alone is the abode of the entire creation, is what is being said. And he says, Yadaitat Jara va. When this body, Jara, gets old, Pradvam Sate va, or when it dies, Kim Tataha Adishishyata iti, what will then remain? Right, so it's a question that when this body dies, or when it gets old and dies, so the Yadeta Jaravapnoti Pradvam Sateva, when the body gets old and then it dies, Kim Tataha Atishishyata iti, what will then remain? This is the question of the student. Is answered in the fifth mantra, which we will chant. Sabruyat nasya jaraya
सब्रूया
अब्रूयात् नास्य जरया
जरया
etajjiryati
एतज्जीर्यति
एतज्जीर्यति
navadhe nasya hanyat
न वधेनास्य
अधीनास्य हन्यत
etat satyam brahmapuram
एतत्
एतत्
सत्यं
सत्यं
ब्रह्मपुरम्
ब्रह्मपुरम्
अस्मिन् कामाः समाहिता
अस्मिन्
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 कामाः
कामाः
समाहिताः
समाहिताः
एष आत्मा अपहत पाप्मा
एष
एष
एष आत्मा अपहत पाप्मा
आत्मा
विजरो विमृत्युर्विशोकः
विजरो
विजरो
विजरोर्विशोको
विमृत्युर्विशोकः
विजरो विमृत्युर्विशोकः
विजरो
विजरो
विजरोर्विशोकः
विशोकः
अविजिघत्सो अपिपासः
अविजिगत्सो
अविपासः
सत्यकामः सत्यसङ्कल्पः
सत्यकामः
सत्यकामः
सत्यसङ्कल्पः
सत्यसङ्कल्पः
यथा हेवेह प्रजा
यथा
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 ये
ये
प्रजा
विप्रजा
अन्वाविशन्ति
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 यथानुशासनं यम्
यथानुशासनं
यथानुशासनं
यम्
यमन्तं विकामा
यमन्तं
यमन्तं
विकामाः
विकामा
भवन्ति यं जनपदम्
भवन्ति यं जनपदम्
यं क्षेत्रभागम्
यं
यं क्षेत्रभागम्
क्षेत्रभागम्
तं तमेवोपजीवन्ति
तं तमेवोपजीवन्ति
सः ब्रूयात्. Sah is the teacher. The Guru replies, Na asya jaraya na etat jirayati. So you have to break it up carefully. Nasya is na asya jaraya. Etat jiryati is etat jiryati. Asya jaraya na etat jiryati. Asya, this Brahman does not jaraya, does not grow old. And na vardhena asya hanyate. So asya na vardhen, na vadhena. Vadhena is the destruction. So na vadhena, by the destruction, you have to supply. Sharirasya vadhena, the destruction of the body. Na vadhena, by the destruction of the body, asya na hanyate. This Brahman is not killed. Right? So this Brahman does not grow old, and the destruction of the body in which this Brahman is does not result in the destruction of Brahman. Etat Satyam Brahmapuram. So Brahmapuram here is used in the sense of Satyam, always existing, indestructible, which means Saguna Brahman. And Asmin Kamaha Samahitaha. All the objects of desire, Kamaha, all the objects of desire are located in this Saguna Brahman, which means what? It is Vishwa Adhar. It is the very support substratum of the universe. And then he gives the definition of Ishvara, a very, very famous portion in this Upanishad. Esha Atma Apahata Papma Vijaro Vimrutyuhu Vishokaha Avijigatsaha Apipasaha Satyakamaha Satya Sankalpaha. Okay. We should carefully note that some of the words will be common for Nirguna Brahman and Saguna Brahman. But some of the words are not. So, for example, Apahata Papma, free from Papa, right? And if you look at the word Satya Kamaha, Satya Sankalpaha, it's a clear indication of Saguna Brahman. Why?
Kamaha and Sankalpa are included there.
Kamaha and Sankalpaha are by an entity with a mind, right? So, to have desire and to take a Sankalpa, it has to be Saguna Brahman, not Nirguna Brahman. But we should note here that for Vishishta Advaitins, there is no Nirguna Brahman. All the attributes here belong to Saguna Brahman for the Vishishta Advaitin. But for us, it doesn't. For us, we have to distinguish. Then Apahata Papma, free from Papam. Vijara, free from old age. Vimrityu, free from death. Vishokaha, free from sorrow. Avijighatsaha, free from hunger. Apipasaha, free from thirst. Satyakamaha means whatever kamaha, whatever desire is there, will definitely get fulfilled. Satya Sankalpaha, whatever visualization Saguna Brahman does, that comes true. And this Ishvara, with uh, this kind of description, you have to meditate upon in the Dahara Akasha. And if you do that, then there are two phalams. What is that? Satya Kamatvam and Satya Sankalpatvam during your lifetime. That means whatever you wish will come true. Whatever you visualize will also come. That is during lifetime. And the third phalam, after death, what happens to this person after death? Remember, he is a Saguna Upasaka, and therefore, what should happen to him after death?
Brahmaloka.
Brahmaloka.
In other words,
Videha Mukti.
Videha Mukti is not used for Upasaka. Videha Mukti means you don't get another birth. When you are saying Brahmaloka, you mean this
He has
person
an
has.
opportunity to
Krama
learn
Mukti.
from Brahmaji and
Exactly. So Krama Mukti. So there are two phalams. One is Satya Kamatvam and Satya Sankalpatvam. That is during a lifetime. And one is Krama Mukti. That is during death. So this we must be very clear. The Saguna Upasaka, however great Upasaka is, for him there is Krama Mukti. Means he has to go to Brahmaloka. He has to study Vedanta from Lord Brahmaji and then get Mukti. But for a Jnani, that is not there. Okay. And then Yatha Eveha Prajaha Anvavashanti. The Prajaha, normally the normal citizen, what does he Anvavashanti? When he wants something, what does he get? Yatha Anushasanam. He gets it according to the rules which are there. And there are certain rules to be got. And yamantam abhikama bhavanti. So yam, the breakup. Yam, antam, abhikama bhavanti. So here it's a description of a desire. So antam here means a place. So yam antam abhikama bhavanti. Whichever land or village you can say, whichever place he wants, he desires. Yam antam abhikama bhavanti. Whichever land he desires. Yam janapadam. Whether that land be a janapadam, a big nation, or yam kshetra bhagam, or part of a small field, tameva upajivanti. He will get the benefit of that place only. Tameva upajivanti. He will get benefits of that place only. So the idea being conveyed by Shruti is that the normal human being means he is comparing it with the Upasaka, Saguna Brahma Upasaka. The one who is not Upasaka, he can get limited results by effort. So this whole sentence, whatever land you want to acquire, you will only get that much land, whether it be a nation or a small field, and you have to put in the necessary effort. Okay. But the Saguna Ishvara Upasaka is not constrained by this. Whatever he desires, he gets immediately. No effort is required. So the problems of not being an Upasaka is being pointed out here. So like Shruti here is saying, therefore, be Upasaka. Okay. You look at
So
the
can we
next.
can we also say that it is equivalent to what is described in perhaps second chapter of Gita, Nainam Chinnati Shastrani? I mean, is that the meaning
Nainam
here?
Chanta Shastrani means that there it says the body is not killed by weapons.
Hmm.
This is completely different. This is saying that Saguna Upasaka can get whatever he wants without effort. But simple sankalpa.
Okay.
While the non-upasaka will need to make effort. So this is about the Upasaka. The Gita verse is about Atma.
Okay.
Okay, we look at mantra number 6. Tadyatheha
तद्यतेह
तद्यथेह
karmajito lokah shriyata
Karmajit
कर्मजितो लोकः
लोकः
क्ष्यते
evam evamutra
eva
एवमेवामुत्र
punyajito lokah kshiyate.
पुण्यो लोकः क्रियते
Tadya iha atmanam
तद्य इहात्मानम्
anannu vidya vrajanti
anuvidya
अनुविद्य व्रजन्ति
etamsha satyan kaman
एतां सत्यान् कामान्
tesham sarveshu lokeshu
तेषां सर्वेषु लोकेषु
akamacharo bhavati.
कामचारो भवति
It is akamacharo bhavati. Should be careful about that. Akamacharo bhavati.
अकामचारो भवति अकामचरो भवति
Ataya ihatmanam
अतः आत्मानम्
anuvidya vrajanti
अनुवृत्ति
etamsha satyan kaman
कामान्
tesham sarveshu lokeshu kamacharo bhavati.
तेषां सर्वेषु लोकेषु कामचारो भवति
So another problem if you are not a upasaka that he's talking about. Tadat tadyat eha tadat iha karmajito lokaha shriyate. So lokaha here means karma phalam. So he says tat yat iha, just as the various lokaha, the various karma phalam shriyate. Iha means here, right? And how does this karma phalam come about? Karma jitaha. That karma phalam, that lokaha karma phalam, which has been got, acquired through karma jitaha, where iha, shiyataha, is perishable, right? Because whatever karma phalam comes, once it is enjoyed, it goes away. Therefore, tad yat iha karmajito lokaha shiyata. Just as the various karma phalam which has been acquired through karma are perishable, evam evamutra punyajito lokaha shiyate. In the same way, right? In the same way, whatever karma phalam is obtained by in Swarga, right? They also perish. So remember, this is Anumana Pramana because we don't have Pratyaksha as far as heaven is concerned. So he says the karma phala obtained in Swarga, they also perish, they also go away. Because the time that you can spend in Swarga is limited on account of your punyam being limited. So do you remember any mantra in the Gita which reminds you of this discussion?
क्षीणे पुण्यं मर्त्यलोके
Shine punne martyalokam vishanti. So that mantra of the ninth chapter is based on this. This is another example, like everything in the Gita, the teaching is not original at all. It's always based on some portion somewhere in the Shastra, in the Veda. Then, Tadya iha atmanam ananuvidya vrajanti. Vrajanti means leaves. And here, ananuvidya is without doing upasana. So, tadya iha atmanam ananuvidya vrajanti. A person who leaves this world, who dies without doing upasana, atmanam ananuvidya, without doing upasanam, what will happen to him? Etamscha satyan kaman tesham sarveshu lokeshu akamacharo bhavati. he will not be Satyakama. He will not be able to travel to whichever loka he wants. The kamachara bhavati. He will be unsuccessful in fulfilling that particular desire. But on the other hand, if you are upasaka, what happens? Athaya ihatmanam anuvidya vrajanti. The one who dies after doing upasana. Right? But note that the word anuvidya means upasana, meditating upon. What happens to him? Etamscha satyakaman tesham sarveshu lokeshu kamacharo bhavati. Right? So that two words are two lines are identical. The only difference is the first line it is akamacharo bhavati. He will not be successful in doing what he wants. And here it is kamacharo bhavati. He will be successful in doing whatever he wants. He gets all the benefits. But the most important ones are what? Satya Kama and Satya Sankalpa. So in whatever form the Lord is meditated upon, those benefits alone he will get. Again, the basis for another famous Gita mantra, which is that
The one J yatha mam bhajante.
prapadyante. Ye yatha mam prapadyante. Right.
Yes.
So with this, iti pratama khandaha, the first section is over. Atha, dvitiya khandaha, the second section starts. Mantra number 1, 8, 2, 1. Sayadi pitralokakamo bhavati
यदि
यदि
पितृलोककामो भवति
पितृलोककामो भवति
sankalpadevasya pitaraha
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य पितरः
samutthishtanti
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
tena pitralokena
तेन
तेन
पितृलोकेन
पितृलोकेन
sampanno mahiyate.
सम्पन्नो
सम्पन्नो
महीयते।
महीयते.
Okay. So, first, he talks about the ability to go to any loka that you want to go to. This is for the Upasaka, right? And he says, what is the advantage of all those things? He's just telling us. Sayadi Pitraloka Kama Bhavati. If that Upasaka, he wants to go to Pitraloka to meet all his Pitrus. Pitrus are all your forefathers, right? Not Pita, Pitrus, the forefathers. So, Sayadi Pitraloka Kama Bhavati. If he desires to go to Pitraloka to meet all his forefathers, how will he do? Sankalpa Devasya. By mere Sankalpa alone, he can do that. Right? And after having gone there, what will he do? Pitaraha Sam Uttishtanti. He will sit with his Pitras. He can interact with all the Pitras. Right? Remember that you can also dream about these things, but the dream is independent of your free will. Right? You cannot go to bed saying that I will dream that I'm going to Pitraloka. But this is not that. This is the Upasaka's power. So he can go there to Pitraloka and he can stay there as long as he desires. So in this respect, you have to see the difference between Swapna and this. This is because Sankalpa alone, he goes there. And what happens after he talks to all his Pitrus? Tena Pitralokena Sampannaha. Because of all the interactions, he himself is glorified. Mahiyate. He becomes great. He becomes glorified. Now we look at the second mantra. He
Acharya
talks
ji,
of, yeah.
does it not sound like a siddhi after upasana? An upasaka get.
It is a siddhi. You are able to do it. That's what Shastra says. That you are getting the same Satya Sankalpaha and of Ishvara. Ishvara can do this, therefore you can also do that.
Hmm.
It's don't take literally. It's to make you enthusiastic for Upasana. Because it is there in the Upanishad, so we can't say it won't happen, right? It's Shruti. Hmm. So, atha yadi matralokakamo bhavati
अत यदि
अथ यदि यदि
मातृलोककामो
मातृलोककामो
भवति
भवति
sankalpadevasya mataraha
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य
सङ्कल्पादेवासमादरः
मातरः
samutishtanti tena matralokena
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति तेन
तेन
मातृलोकेन
मातृलोकेन
sampanno mahiyate.
सम्पन्नो
सम्पन्नो
महीयते.
Identical. I won't explain. You only replace Pitrus by Matrus, and the explanation is absolutely the same, right? Then we go to the mantra number 3. अथ यदि भ्रातृलोको काम भवति
अथ
अथ
यदि
यदि
भातृलोककामो भवति
सङ्कल्पपादेवास्य
सङ्कल्पादेवस्य
सङ्कल्पादेवस्य
भ्रात्रः समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
भ्रातरः
भ्रातरः
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
तेन भ्रातृलोकेन
तेन
भ्रातृलोकेन
भ्रातृलोकेन
सम्पन्नो महीयते.
सम्पन्नो
सम्पन्यते.
महीयते।
So here again, instead of Pitru and Matru, you replace by Bhatraha. Okay. So remember that Bhatraha is any brother who is dead. Okay. Why? Why should you take the interpretation that it refers only to dead brothers?
Bhratru-lokena.
लोकेन
No, if you have live brothers, you don't need to go
If
anywhere
they're alive,
else.
you're there already.
They're already simple logic. You have to be alert, yeah. Okay. अथ यदि कामो भवति
अथ
अथ
यदि
यदि यदि
स्वस्वलोककामो
स्वस्वलोककामो भवति
भवति
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य स्वसारः
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य स्वसारः
सङ्कल्पदेवास्य
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
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 तेन ससुरलोकेन
तेन
तेन
स्वस्वलोकेन
स्वस्वलोकेन
सम्पन्नो महीयते.
सम्पन्नो
सम्पन्नो महीयते.
So it's a word you may not be familiar with. Swasrulaha is sister. And here obviously it means dead sisters. Okay, because life sisters are already here. Then mantra number 5. All identical. अथ यदि सखी लोककामो भवति
अथ यदि
अथ यदि
सखीलोककामो
सखीलोककामो
भवति
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य सखायः
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य सखायः
सङ्कल्पदेवास्य
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
तेन सखिलोकेन सम्पन्नो महीयते.
तेन
तेन सखिलोकेन
सखीलोकेन
सम्पन्नो
सम्पन्नो
महीयते।
महीयते.
Again, Sakhi mean friends. And again, dead friends only, because all life friends are available here. So all these things you can do if you want to, if you are Upasaka. Then, mantra number 6. अथ यदि गन्धमाल्यलोककामो भवति
अथ यदि
अथ यदि
गन्धमाल्यलोककामो
गन्धमाल्यलोककामो
भवति
भवति
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य
सङ्कल्पदेवास्य
गन्धमाल्ये समुत्तिष्ठत्स्तेन
गन्धमाल्ये
गन्धमाल्ये
समुत्तिष्ठन्तेन
समुत्तिष्ठ समुत्तिष्ठतस्तेन
समुत्तिष्ठतस्तेन
समुत्तिष्ठत्स्तेन
गन्धमाल्यलोकेन सम्पन्नो महीयते.
गन्धमाल्यलोकेन
गन्धमाल्यलोकेन
सम्पन्नो
सम्पन्नीयते.
महीयते.
So, if you don't want to go and see your Pitrus and Matrus and Bhratrus, but supposing you like Gandha, perfumes. So Gandha doesn't mean, dirty. Gandha means perfumes. and malya is garlands, mala. So gandha malya. So not only are you able to see whoever you want to see, but if you want things like perfumes and garlands, again, at your will, by pure sankalpa, you can have all these things. You can have all the ornaments, you can have all the perfumes. You don't need to go to any shops. You just do sankalpa and they'll be all on you. Remember again, all very nicely worded for making us enthusiastic about doing upasana. Then the seventh mantra, अथ यद्यन्नपानलोककामो भवति
अथ
अन्नपानलोकामो
यद्यन्नपानलोकामो भवति
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य अन्नपाने
सङ्कल्पादेवाचान्नपाने
समुत्तिष्ठत
समुत्तिष्ठत
तेन अन्नपानलोकेन
तेन अन्नपानलोकेन
सम्पन्नो महीयते
सम्पन्नो मह्यते
Annapanaha, food and drinks of all types, all shapes, all flavors, whatever you want. You just do sankalpa, you will get. So basically, you don't have to earn any money, right? You spend your time in upasana and you can do all these things. You can give up your job and sit at home. Then, mantra number 8. अथ यदि गीतवादित्रलोककामो भवति
अथ यदि
अथ गीतवादित्रलोककामो भवति
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य
गीतवादित्रे
गीतवादित्रे
समुतिष्ठत
समुत्तिष्ठत
तेन गीतवादित्रलोकेन
तेन गीतवादित्रलोकेन
सम्पन्नो महीयते
सम्पन्नो मह्यते
So Gita is music and Vaditra means the musical instruments. Your guitar or your sitar or your tabla, all these are Vaditras. So therefore, if you like entertainment, songs and want musical instruments, you can enjoy them at will. Okay. So the thing to be remembered is that Sankalpa you can do in Bhuloka also, right? In this life also you can do Sankalpa. But if you do Sankalpa, what happens is that you have to do some effort afterwards. But the Upasaka after death, for him, what happens? It is just mere will. Right? If he says, I want a house, the house will manifest. If you say, I want a house, you have to first get enough money to buy that house. Therefore, for us, time, effort, earning, everything. So, between the Sankalpa and the fulfillment of the Sankalpa, you can have a lot of time. But for this Upasaka, it is not there. It is instantaneous. Then the ninth mantra, अथ यदि स्त्रीलोककामो भवति
अथ यदि
अथ यदि
स्त्रीलोककामो भवति
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य त्रियः
सङ्कल्पादेवास्य स्त्रियः
सङ्कल्पदेवास्य स्त्रियः
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति
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 तेन स्त्रियलोकेन सम्पन्नो महीयते
तेन
तेन
स्त्रीलोकेन
स्त्रीलोकेन
सम्पन्नो
मह्यते
And therefore, if he likes the company of ladies, he only has to do sankalpa. Maybe that's the reason why in so many ashrams you find so many ladies, you know. All the gurus have done sankalpa. Okay, the 10th mantra. Yayam antam abhikamo bhavati
तम् अभिकामो भवति
कामो भवति
yam kamam kamayate
यं
यं
कामं
कामं
कामयते
कामयते
sosya sankalpadeva
सोऽस्य सङ्कल्पादेव
समुतिष्ठति तेन सम्पन्नो महीयते.
समुत्तिष्ठन्ति तेन सम्पन्नो महीयते.
So Antam here is a part, any loka of this universe, any part of the universe means any loka of the universe. He wants to go to yakamam kamayate, whatever sense pleasures he desires, he will enjoy. And tena sampannaha, he is fulfilled with all these experiences. In short, the siddhi is wherever he wants to go, he can go. Whatever he wants, he can get. Whomever he wants to see, he can see. That is the siddhi. And this is all result of Dahara Loka Pasanam. Iti Dvitiya Khandaha. With this, the third khanda is over. Now we will look at the second khanda is over. Now we will look at the third khanda in the next class. The third and fourth khanda are basically glorification. Stutis only. So here remember, this is the encouragement. Like they are glorifying, this is also glorification. It is saying that if you do upasana, all these results are possible. So actually this is phalam, phalastuti, and then comes the glorification of the mantras in the next two sections.
Acharyaji, but we've heard of only the term Pitraloka and not Bhratraloka, Swasraloka separately.
Yes, so here it is going separately. So since Shruti is saying that, you have to make an assumption that forefathers can be further divided into mothers, sisters, brothers, everything. Ultimately, this analysis will lead to paralysis. So we just leave it at that. Okay. So with this, we'll stop. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for your patience. Om.
Thank you, Acharya.